interesting, if you look at it in megawatts, right, because that's what they're rated today, it's 0.8 megawatts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That wheel which sits out in the Ford parking lot, that modern wheel, made 71,000 horsepower or about 50 megawatts. So, but they are all smaller. They are mostly horizontal turbines. The generator sits right on top, and they have 6 or 8 nozzles around. So, and today's wheel go about between 100 and 150 megawatts. The largest one is in Italy for 240 megawatts, but that is it. They just don't go further. And they are most of these wheels are used for peak shaving, not for base power. Because the base power is usually covered by either nuclear or by gas-fired steam power plants. But for peak shaving, they use these Pelton wheels.
Still.
Very, very few are base power.
And they're still used today?
Excuse me?
They're still used today?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, and but these turbines as of today are only from 1,000 feet on up. As when a drop, when the water drop is 1,000 and more feet. At about 800, there's the cutoff. Well, this was actually run at 735 or something like that.
And
Yeah,
this
735 foot head, you see.
and this would generate electricity?
This actually generated compressed air.
Oh, compressed
There was
air.
a pump on both sides, 2 pumps, so a total of 4 pumps. And they send this compressed air about half a mile over in this direction to the main shaft, and they operated everything
From that.
with compressed air. Even the steam engines were was run with compressed air, and certainly all the hammers, right? Now the wheel was used for the kids' enjoyment. The kids, till an accident happened, and then they welded and shot.
Yeah, I bet you they had fun on there.
Is this the picture where they showed this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Until somebody got hurt.
Yeah, till somebody got hurt, and then the city welded it shut.
I was
Actually,
thinking
that guy was just in here who saw that accident.
Oh,
Really?
really?
Yes, he lives in Florida now.
Wow.
It
And-
kind of, when I first saw it, it reminded me of a Ferris wheel. Kind of, you know, it'd
Ferris
be
wheel,
fun to
yeah.
ride on.
Yeah.
You know, you could see your.
So-
That's because you're just a kid.
Oh, thank you.
Because I take a,
So what year, you guys, was this thing operating? What year?
1895.
Oh, okay.
1895 till 1932, I think, right?
Oh, okay.
I think it was
Yeah,
either
was it
30 or
that long?
32,
Yeah, 30.
and then they switched over to electric.
Okay.
So when they were riding on this, you'd go upside down, right?
Yeah, I have no idea how
no,
they
what
did
they
this.
did,
But they kept the guy who fell off actually was good that he wasn't killed, but he got a very bad fracture on his leg. Actually, the bones were sticking out. The guy said, and the parents sued Grass Valley, and they immediately welded it shut, and that was that, right?
There he is, huh, again.
see this, but,
Yeah.
see what she's doing? You stand here and
And hold on. Yeah.
no, keep going up.
Oh.
Or down.
Oh, I get it. And then
whatever.
it would spin.
When it
Yeah.
went around, it wasn't going around it. A big,
So that person was standing over here.
Otherwise, it's not making, so to speak, you know. I told you that, but it's still the largest in diameter. Yes, the big power wheels, they're all 26 feet or smaller. And so when you go out and you look at the parking lot, this thing is 71,000 horsepower. That means it's 71 times as big as this one, but it's about 25 feet in diameter.
Oh, I get it.
can you finish up?
Yes.
There's
yes.
somebody out
Yes,
here.
okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, I'll see you
Now,
on the way.
Yeah,
the
Yeah,
Pelton turbine was developed by a local guy, Pelton. He was in Comptonville, which is just a little bit down 49.
I know where that is, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he invented this thing in about 1875. And most of these wheels, for example, this one is an 1880 wheel. And you can sort of see this. The buckets are still square, they're not round. But by 1900, as at this wheel over there, the first one is a wheel from 1903. And,
It was the actual one, it was.
that is very modern. That is as modern as they go. This one here, right? It's the bucket is almost spherical and has already these cutouts for the jet. So very modern, right? This is about 1885 or so. This is roughly around 1900. This is also 1880. So it depends. This is also just hitting 1900 or so. But you see what happens, the things get more spherical. And eventually the modern ones like this one, it's almost completely spherical. Because that is what you want.
More efficient, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh.
oh, that's
That's a
neat.
pretty big crusher there.
Now, the rock was certainly crushed with these machines, and I show you how that works. And that was also Pelton wheel driven, right? You see that Pelton wheel drives it?
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
That's
So
nice.
that's
now,
amazing.
in these machines, as in these stamp mills, there were 300 here in the area,
Wow.
and they ran 24/7. They stopped one day in the year, and that was Christmas Day.
Wow,
And then everybody complained they couldn't sleep.
yeah.
By the way, that's the truth. Two guys came in here and said, that's exactly the way they were. When they
used
stopped,
to
we
it.
couldn't sleep.
Oh, that's funny.
Isn't that funny, yeah? And they certainly, here you can see what sits in the middle there is one of a used stamp. But the new stamp sits down there on the base. You see this? You see the difference between this is 3 months. In
Oh,
3
is
months
that
they
right?
wear from this to
Oh.
this.
And grind all down. Do you think that's almost the same RPM?
No, I think they were a little faster, but not much. I would say it's probably half the RPM or something.
Pretty good. Oh.
Yeah, this is 3 months after this, right?
The way that wore down.
Right, this is 3 months after these, right? Amazing.
Yeah, they're pretty worn already, right? Now this was full of mercury here. This was and also here mercury, and they formed the amalgam with the gold, and then used the ball mill to squeeze the extra mercury out. And if you want to, I can actually rotate that for you. But it just turns around and rolls these balls around. And then it went into that oven, right around the corner,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
oven
you
which
showed
you
us
saw
that,
already,
yeah.
and then they boiled the mercury off
Yeah.
and melted the gold down. And the mercury was certainly reused, huh? Now, this mine was a hard rock mine. That means they drove those shafts down there and went along the quartz mines, the quartz veins. because this is where the gold is deposited. Now this is an example of a placer mining, where you dig the gravel out in a river, separate them in the middle, and then take the tailings out. And if you go in the middle, I'll show you how that machine was operating. So whatever they dug out here, they put in this drum. The gold and the sand falls out. The gold gets washed out on these terraces, and the tailing gets back into the river. And this model was built for the 1915 World Exhibition in San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
And it's really a huge machine. It's 510 feet long, big as almost 2 football fields.
Oh.
And one of these buckets is out in the yard. You can look at the real size bucket, which actually brings the size of that machine home.
Oh, yeah, we saw it yesterday.
Good.
Yeah. Is this it here?
Yes, that is the machine now in Yuba City. That was 2 years ago, was that picture taken, but it's still operating as far as I know. And they operate basically 24/7, and they have usually a crew of 4 or 5 people. That's all. So the total crew is something like 25 people, and that's it.
They still use that barrel technology, because I was watching that gold mining show of that family up in Alaska.
I see.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah,
They have the same barrel on one of the machines.
Now this is a 1/3 model of a steam donkey or steam hoist, and this is in front of the museum, and I'm presently restoring that.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
So when you look at this here, this is the cylinder, and here's the real size cylinder, right there.
Okay.
You see the real size cylinder. So and I'll show you how these were operated. They were, as long as the cylinder is cold, you can't get power because the steam collapses immediately on the walls, and forget about it, right? So they had to first take a slow speed and warm these cylinders up, let the water out on the cylinder cocks, and when they were warm, then they clutched this in here, and then lifted things up, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Now the real machine
What he's working on.
holds 8,000 pounds here, right?
So are you going to get that so you can demonstrate it? Is that what you're on the resto, or is it?
Right. It will be
That's
operating
it
in the
there,
spring. This is.
I mean, that picture.
Oh yeah, that's the machine down there. Exactly. Only that all the machinery sits right here, right?
Oh, I get it. So
The only thing which are still down there is the drum and this axle, but all this machinery is all up here.
okay, yeah.
This is kind of interesting. If you haven't seen Dredge.
This is the placer.
Yes,
Part of the placer mining,
that's
or the
actually.
cannons
Also, there are a few examples out there. You probably saw this
You did,
yesterday.
Yeah, the cannons.
It's just huge. Now, this was used to get the dust and the foam gases out after they blasted for a small mine. It was about technology 1870 or so. And the clever thing is it's an old invention. It's from the Chinese, 2,000 years old.
Oh,
But the clever thing is that I'm pumping, but the flow rate is constant, and it delivers 100 cubic feet a minute.
oh yeah.
It's a big bellows.
That is
Bellows.
amazing. That's something.
Uh-huh.
This is a dynamite packing machine from 1899. So it's 110 years old, right? And belonged to the Trojan Powder Company, and they were down in Hayward. This is in the Bay Area. And this machine packed 20 cartridges at one time, and they packed them at a rate of 16 per minute, so they were really going in. And I show you how this thing works now. Dynamite is nothing but sawdust and nitroglycerin.
Oh, okay.
But the nitroglycerin is very, very unstable. If you have it in a little container or so, and you shake it, it explodes. So it's very, very, you have to be very, very careful with it. But in the moment it's in sawdust, then it's stable and it's dynamite and you can use it. And it's okay. So now, I have to put some pressure on that noises. Now when these cartridges are filled, right, then these pistons stop right here, and we stop now too, that you can see this. And now look what happened to these two. They're hanging up and they're out of the process. Okay, you see the machine is still running, but these are out of the process. So what the guy does, he steps down here, takes the filled cartridges out, puts new cartridges in, puts this back up, and then resets the machine. And I'll show you that too. So watch what these two do now. They come back down, and they're back in the process, and they come all the way down because now they have empty cartridges, right? And that is what happens. And we just recently refurbished that machine and made it go.
Did you work on it?
We cleaned, yes, we cleaned 2,000 parts
Oh, boy.
and made 80 new parts because the whole end here was missing. So we had to make 80 new parts. But here you can actually see, we have actually no idea that these were brass rods. Or that this was a big brass shaft here, right? Or that this is brass. And you can see this on these pictures here. You see here, for example, these bronze brackets. You couldn't see this. But you see those bronze brackets here. Right? They're just, they came out of cleaning. Or here, for example, this brass piece here, you couldn't, before it was cleaned, you couldn't see it was a brass piece, right?
Oh, yeah.
But it was never a mine.
So where does this mixture go when it goes through here?
Yes, it goes in the slot. It goes in the slot. The slot goes all the way across, only that we fill only 2 here, right?
Oh, okay.
So these actually should be filled.
That way
Let's
about
just look at them.
30,
This is not quite filled.
maybe 40s.
Oh, I see whether this is filled. Yes, this is filled, you
Oh,
see.
okay, sure.
What's that?
So,
Yeah.
Well, you can go 20 or you can go like 49. It's off of 49.
you know, we might as well leave this open that people
Yeah.
see. This went all the way across, right? But right now we're only filling these two because the Stocy can't handle 20.
Sure, yeah.
They can't hardly handle 2.
And these empty things, they were put in here by hand?
And they're
Yes, because he just took this down, right?
Yeah,
longest.
And then put the empty cartridges in there.
Yeah.
This is a little bit filled, but not much.
right.
Okay, this is probably filled to where that piston went.
But
No, I'm sorry, that because nothing goes in there, so this is not filled at all. This should be empty,
that's
Okay.
and it is,
Okay.
right?
Just
But
for the demo, but he's saying they just pack the two now up here, but they used to pack them all.
Oh, I see, okay.
Just for the demo. So where was this invented or built? Was it?
it was built in Michigan,
Oh, okay.
but it was down in Hayward,
Oh,
right in
is
the
that
Bay
that?
Area.
Yeah.
And actually, there's an aerial picture, and I'll show you that.
you're from?
This is the Trojan Powder Company down in Hayward.
The,
And I know exactly where that is because this is the railroad line and this is the river. The river is routed a little bit different today, so they rerouted it a little. But these machines here are these number 8s which you see, and when you go here number 8, right, it's a steel packing building, moat around each building, so they were secured, but they never flew apart. What did fly apart, however, are the Chinamen, which mixed
do it because
the nitro with the sawdust, because if they were not careful, if you were lucky you found a
that's what
shoe.
I'm saying. Over there, you can go down in
So that's,
the
I
shed.
think, we're soon, we're,
Great.
you're-
Thank you.